Hi, I'm Judy. Welcome to Go with Yin Yoga and a Yin Yoga practice for your Pranamaya Kosha. Not to be confused with Pranayama, although Pranayama goes very well with Pranamaya Kosha. So come into an easy seated position. You may lay down if you'd like to. I suggest sitting on a cushion or a block because after we arrive in center, we'll be doing a few short stretches seated. So go ahead and come into whatever is a comfortable position for you, where your spine can be nice and long, imagining space between every single vertebra. Allowing your forehead, your jaw, and your shoulders to just relax. And if it's comfortable for you, close your eyes for a few moments or just stare down at the tip of your nose and allow your eyes to become unfocused. Beginning to breathe in and out through your nose. And breath is what we are all about in the Pranamaya Kosha. It is one of the 5 koshas, and it is about our breath, our life force, our vitality, our energy, and our physical level. This practice is going to open your hips and your chest and heart and your shoulders. Because normally when we work with our Pranamaya Kosha, we work with Pranayama. Excuse me. And in order to breathe deeply, we need to have an open heart. We need to have an open chest. We need to have relaxed shoulders. Otherwise, we can't take deep breaths. So that's what this practice is all about. I invite you at this moment, if you'd like, to set an intention. I have shared with you what my intention. I just wanted to read a quote quickly while you're in this relaxing position, letting the rest of your day go. Your breath is your power. Think about it now. The quote's not over, but think about it. What's the first thing we do in our life? What is the last thing we do in our life, right? We breathe. Whether you realize it or not, you derive all your personal power from your breath. And that is from the Little Book of Breathwork by Catherine Kerrigan, which I don't personally own, but that quote spoke to me. And as we move through this practice, I want you to think about, can you prioritize your breath as well as the shape? Maybe even prioritize your breath over the shape. The ancient yogis actually thought that we had a limited amount of breath in our life. And so breathing slowly and deeply was a way to extend our lives. And go ahead and slowly open your eyes. And go ahead and begin to inhale your arms out and then all the way up. Exhale, bring them behind your head. Then push the air away. Inhale, hands come to shoulders. Exhale, round your back. Take your hands forward. Inhale, reach back as you arch that back. Exhale, bring your hands in front of you and then come down into a child's pose. Now I'm doing kind of a modified child. So you can see what I'm doing. So inhale out, up, exhale back, inhale, hands to shoulders, exhale, push everything away, seated cat, inhale, seated cow, exhale, hands come down, and you begin to reach forward as your forehead comes down towards the floor. One last time. Inhale, out, up, Exhale, hands to your back. Inhale, push the hands apart. Bring them to your shoulders. Exhale, seated cat. Inhale, seated cow. Really reach up. Exhale, bring your hands to the floor and then just extend out. Forehead comes down near the floor. And just take a couple breaths here. And walk your hands back towards your body. Obviously, that warm-up is not part of a yin practice, but sometimes it's really nice to just move a little bit gently before we get into stillness more. Come to a tabletop position. Shoulders over wrists. Hips are over knees. Approximately hip width apart. And on your inhale, take your palm and bring the back of your palm to the mat. And this may be plenty for you. It's a pretty good stretch. We're just stretching our wrists a little bit. Not really using them in this practice, but we are targeting our lung and large intestine meridians as well as our spleen and stomach. And this is a way to get into that. Another way, notice how you're opening underneath your arms. Come back up. Come back into your tabletop. Release. And then go ahead and turn your fingers to face back. This time the palms of your hands are coming to the mat. Inhale. Maybe you stretch back a little bit. I promise you will feel this, but this is helping to strengthen your wrists and strengthen your forearms. And that's something most of us really need to counteract all the typing we do. The lungs and the large intestine will help to decrease grief, to find some equanimity, some peace, and increase our immunity. Go ahead and let that go. And slowly bring your stomach down to the mat, coming all the way down to the mat. Go ahead, I'm going to scooch over a little bit. Go ahead and take your right arm out towards the wall along the floor. I'm a little limited. You can pretty much see what I'm doing here. And then bend your left knee. This might actually feel like enough for you. We're opening across our arm, our shoulder, our chest. You can inhale, begin to take that left foot and bring it over to the mat. Now if that's too much for you, you can also just bend your knees and be like this. This is an area of the body that we tend not to stretch a whole lot. This is called broken wing. And as you're in broken wing, take your attention to your breath. If you find your breath is very choppy here and it's very shallow, then you've probably gone past your edge. And it's probably better for you to have your knees bent like this towards your chest. You're still going to get an awesome opening across your chest and your arm. And if you have any tingling, any numbness, go ahead and come out of the pose and perhaps just take a child's pose. Just stretch your arms out. And slowly begin to roll onto your stomach. Briefly pausing. And in this position, I offer you the affirmation, I open myself to positive energy. And of course, this time, I'm going to have my back to you this time. Stretch your left arm out. Bring your left ear to the mat. Bend your right leg. And take it up and over. Remember, you always have the option to just stay with your arm out stretched. That's a pretty good stretch right there. Or bend your knees and bring them in towards your chest, rather than taking your foot over to the floor. I open myself to positive energy. And I prioritize my breath in this pose, this shape, as much as I prioritize the shape, maybe even more. Last couple of breaths. And slowly roll back to your stomach. And go ahead and bend your knees up and just let your legs fall from side to side. And then stretch your legs down to the short end of your mat. Begin to come up onto your forearms. You can always place your forearms onto a bolster or some blocks. And that will deepen the compression in your low back. And you can also take your forearms a little further out. That will lessen the curve of your low back. Sphinx pose. And think about, without yanking, just pulling your heart through your hands. It's a great low back strengthener. And in Sphinx, think about, I breathe in love and I exhale negativity. Affirm, I breathe in love, I exhale negativity. Notice your breathing. Notice what your breath does for your energy. Notice what sort of breathing makes you feel more powerful. Maybe tuck your chin a little bit, making sure that Neck is nice and long, in line with your spine. You can even drop your head if that feels better in your body. Go ahead and bring your hands back underneath your shoulder. Push yourself up through tabletop briefly. Take your feet together and as wide as the mat if you'd like, or narrower. And slowly bring your head down to the mat or grab a block if you don't reach the mat to bring it closer to you and put your forehead on the block. Hands reach back for the feet if that feels right for you. Maybe move your head from side to side. And then bring your hands to the mat. Slowly begin to push into your hands to raise your torso upright. Go ahead and sit back on your heels if that's comfortable for you. You can always take a blanket. You can put a blanket under your ankles. You could put a blanket in between your shins and your thighs, or rather your thighs and your calves and your thighs. And I'm going to turn around so you can see what I'm doing. And your first option is to take the hands behind you, bring the palms of the hands together behind you, and press into those palms to open up across your chest. So that's reverse prayer hands. Now, you may not be able to feel comfortable in this position. Remember to come back to your breath. If that's the case, can you grab onto your elbows? The whole point is to open up across the chest, to really open up so we can breathe. And we won't be in this position for very long, about a minute. Put a smile on your face. Maybe get the hands up a little further, really pressing those into those palms if you can. Opening up across your shoulders, opening those collarbones, opening your heart. And as you open up and you breathe, do you feel more energy coming in? Do you feel revitalized, powerful? Your life force is flowing. And then exhale. Let that go. Shake your wrists out a little bit. Maybe roll them around a little bit if you've been holding your reverse prayer arms. It is an intense stretch, but it really helps us up so we can breathe and move into our second to last pose. Grab a bolster or some pillows, some firm pillows. Sit vertically down the second half of your mat, top third, whatever. You can also, take a couple of blocks. And you can put one on the lowest level, approximately at your bra line, going across your bra line, so kind of like that. And then one, perhaps medium level, highest level underneath your head for supported fish pose. I like the bolster option, but of course I have it. Go ahead and lay back on your bolster. By bringing your hips a little bit forward of that bolster, we're trying again to open across our chest. Really open up our lungs so we can breathe deeply and find inspiration. And we will be in this pose for roughly 5 minutes. I receive inspiration. We're approximately halfway through this pose. Where can you soften? Maybe that's in your physical body, your Pranamaya Kosha, your gross body, as it's called. Maybe it's in your subtle body, your breath, your Pranamaya Kosha. Where can you let go more? Where can you soften more? Last couple breaths here. And if you'd like to stay in supported fish pose for Savasana, please do. Otherwise, go ahead and take your feet to the mat. Bend your knees, your elbows to the mat, and just slowly roll off the bolster or the blocks, set them aside. Although if you have the bolster, I invite you to take it under your knees. That can help with any lower back pain, and even if you don't have any lower back pain, it just feels very relaxing. I like to do that in Shavasana. I will hold space as you are relaxing in Savasana. And always an invitation, feel free to stay in Savasana for as long as you need. And just go ahead, close your eyes if it's comfortable, or once again, let them unfocus if it's not. Relax, let go, breathe in inspiration, breathe out negativity, and wait until you hear my voice again. Yin Yoga always invites you into stillness. Sometimes when we get still, that's where the creativity, which is another aspect of Yin, arises. So sometimes when we can get still, especially when we take our attention to our breath, as we take our attention to our breath, it may slow down. Your thoughts may slow down. And we can arrive at a space that is open, inspiring, creative. Begin to let your breath deepen. Feel the weight of your body melting into your mat, into this earth. Feeling the support of the earth, the stability and security. Keeping the eyes closed, begin to take whatever movement you may need. There's always a little yang in our yin. A little movement is a good thing. Gets the blood flowing again, our energy flowing again. And that may be nodding your head a couple times, looking to one side and then the other. Maybe even taking our shoulders and then releasing them. Wiggling fingers and toes. Circling ankles and wrists one way, then the other, and taking a deep inhale, keeping those eyes closed, reaching up. And then on the exhale, slowly roll over to one side, stretching one arm along the mat, cradling your head on that arm, bringing the knees towards the chest, and just take a few deep breaths here. And then slowly taking our palms to the mat and walking ourselves upright. into an easy seated position, and of course, stay in Savasana if that is what you feel comfortable with. And come up to an easy seated position with your eyes still closed. I'd like to run through a short visualization to close out our practice. Just with your mind, inhale through your left nostril, exhale through the right. Inhale through the left, exhale through the right. You don't have to close off any nostrils. If you're familiar with Chandra Vedana, you can if you'd like. Doesn't matter whether you really feel as if you're breathing in through one nostril and out through the other. It's just the intention to do so. This is a really simple cooling breath. Calming breath. Tapping once again into our parasympathetic nervous system. Rest and digest. Our yin side, our creative side. One last breath in through the left. Out through the right. And let that go. Inhale, bring your palms of your hands together in front of your heart. Begin to rub them together. Notice how open you feel through your heart right now, hopefully. And then bringing your hands to stillness in front of your heart. Bowing your head over your hands. Giving yourself thanks for showing up. For giving yourself time for self-care today. I know it's not easy to take this time, and I'm very grateful you chose to spend this time with me. And then slowly blink your eyes open and raise your head, smile on your face, I hope. Thank you so much for joining me. Our physical practice is complete. But I do have some journaling prompts on the Pranamaya Kosha that I want to share with you. They will also be in the description box below, as well as a link to the private Facebook group and a link to subscribe to the weekly newsletter. So the prompts I want to leave you with are: what did I discover about my breath? What makes me feel alive? What foods make me feel energized? What sort of meals leave me feeling tired? Where in my life can I use my breath to empower myself on and off the mat? And finally, I want you to write down one thing you will do this week to bring positive energy into your life. Why do we write it down? Because when we write things down, we are much more likely to do them. So again, thank you so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this practice, go ahead and click the like button. If you want to practice with me again, go ahead and subscribe and click the bell so you know when new videos are added to this channel. May you be happy. May you feel healthy. May you feel inspired. And may you be free from suffering.